Hey guys, welcome to a new video. If I sound weird, that's because I'm a little sick, but today I'm going to be doing a ship guide.
Oh my god, shut up. What is your posting schedule? Why are you posting so late? What's wrong with you?
Right, anyways, here's the shipbuilding guide. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, use World Edit, but if you're not going to, that's alright. You're just going to have to take some steps differently, and I'll be telling you that along the way. So, for your ship, we have to start with the keel. It's the backbone of the ship. Basically, it's the highlighted part here. So, I'm going to build mine and I'll show you what it looks like. So, here's the keel. Um we have the rudder here in the back, or like this is where the rudder's going to be, and here we have the front of the ship. Now, you must be thinking, "Wow, Hank, you're a genius. You're the smartest person in the world." I know. So you must be asking, but what is this? So this is going to be like the outline for each deck. Now, you can have as many as you want, but before you do that, I got to explain something. So here, any blocks that are from here and below are going to be not seen. So like the base color that you want, just fill the hole in with that color. Or if you're using World Edit, use whatever block you want and then replace it with the final block. But from here, like anything that's below this is going to be underwater. And I want 2 decks above the water. So one here. And the top deck is going to be on this top block. Now, the reason why I put a space in between this block and this block is because if we have the floor like this, you're going to have the deck and then the actual hull itself to walk on, which I think is weird. So I put one on like up top with a space in the middle so that there's less hull to stand on and more deck to stand on. So now we need to make the actual like frame, like a 3D outline of the hull so we can fill it in later. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and I'm also gonna try to like make like a sketch of how I want the captain's quarters to be and the front part. So I'll be back with that. Alright, so it took me around 30 minutes to make this. I know we just went from a whole keel to like the backbone of the ship to an entire hull. But I'm gonna try to explain this as best as I can, but it's not gonna be through Minecraft. So let's just look at the ship in total so I can use this as an example when I'm explaining. So here we see the front. Now we're looking at the back. Lots of curves. Alright, so now I'm going to explain the best that I can on how to make the hull. Alright, so to best explain this, we're going to be in paint. Now, I'm assuming you guys already have somewhat of a keel that looks like this from the side. Now, the next thing I did was to find what the width of my ship was going to look like. So the width, I mean from this point to this point, not from over here, because this is like the starting and this is the ending point. I meant from here to here. Now for my ship, it was 21 blocks. So I already, from above, it looked like a T-shape, somewhat. Then, based off of the width that I made an outline that looks somewhat like this, or like this in-game. So once you're done with that top view outline, if you look to the front of your ship, it's going to look like a T, right? So once you're done making that kind of like T-shaped outline, you're going to have to start filling it in with some like rib cages like this. I know I'm bad at drawing, but you get the point. So something like that. Here on the right, it's like a better example. So here, I would make 3 intervals of these like arc shapes in your outline. The first one goes in the front, the second one goes in the back. Don't worry about the numbering. I'm good at math. Don't question me. And number 3 goes in the middle. So make these arc shapes on these kind of like sizes. and at these positions, so that it's easier for you to make more intervals in between where you already have these three main intervals, right? So at the front, it's kind of like small, and then over here, it gets way bigger, and then it starts to get smaller and smaller to the very end. And now I'm going to go through the painful process of filling in the outline. Alright, so we are finally done with the hull. Now I would say that this is the most boring part, but now it's time to get to the more exciting things, right? So after that clip of me doing that time lapse, I added this kind of like handrail. Now the first thing I want to do and finish up is the steering wheel, or whatever you call it. So here's what I like to do, right? Because like as the genius that I am, I put dark oak, 2 stairs up like this, boom, and I kind of just YOLO this, and then boom, there you go. Now you have a you now have a steering wheel for your ship at the back. Right, anyways, alright, so for the masts, all you have to do, at least down here at the bottom, is decide where you want your masts to be, and then build up depending on how many masts you have. So the first one always has to be the shortest, then it's the tallest, and then depending on how many you have in the middle here, and then kind of like the second shortest. So the length here is 21 blocks tall. Then up here is 25 blocks tall. Then over here is 23 blocks tall. Then you're gonna have to add these slabs. Now the reason why there's 3 blocks here is because that's where we're gonna add our like rope. So you have to extend this by 1 so that we can get all the rope, and then go up, what is this, another 21 blocks, 22 blocks I should say, and add another mast or whatever that is. Then we get over here and add like half of the second mast. So that's how tall the smallest mast is, and then copy that to the others. Alright guys, so I am done with the masts. So here you can see for this one, this goes 5 blocks out, 5 blocks out, and then it goes down by 2, I believe. Now something that I want to say is that where to position these, just go 2 blocks down, and these slabs are like this. So it hides the ending of this pole and hides the ending of this pole, and they kind of just go up. Now 2 blocks after this one, I added mud brick wall because it's the closest thing to wood, and it's a little not as chunky as a regular block. Then you can see here I actually removed this mast or pole or whatever you call it from here, so that's just these 2 up here, and we have this 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 flag here, or sail. Now for just the purpose of my my soul and the time of this video being spent to like create it, the sails will not be made, I'm going to have them rolled up like if it were at a harbor. So if you want to put the sails fully down, blowing with the wind, then you go for that. You go to another video because that's not going to be part of this video. But I'm going to have mine coiled up along with this here, and then we'll get to the ropes. So I'll be right back. Alright, so they're not the prettiest things in the world, but I don't think folded up sails are supposed to be like that. Anyways, so here in the back, we have finished all of this up here, all around, and I have thickened up the front mast. So this next part is going to be really tough. I would suggest doing simple ropes, but if you have World Edit, there's this thing called / line. So let's go ahead and go up here, and this is another good reason why you should have 2 blocks in between so that you can do this. So if you have World Edit, do / line, then use oak fence, and there you will have your first line in the entire ship. Now, if you want to have, if you're not using World Edit, good luck. Alright guys, so I am done coloring in my hull for the ship. Now, if you're unsure of what colors to use, you can just use this. It's white concrete, cobblestone, and blue concrete. Now, if you're unsure for the color variation, just search it up. That's what I did for my first few ships. Now, if you want this to be like a cargo ship or a passenger ship, that's alright. You're basically done. Just add some stairs and light the thing up, and add some like windows, and you're basically done with that. But I'm going to be building a battleship, so stick around, and now I'm going to show you the 3 different variations of the cannons that I've made up. So here it's just black concrete and then some stairs and spruce, right? But if you're using, if like black concrete is in your palette for your ship, then this is not ideal, because that's what I figured out in my first ship. So something else that I figured out is that you can use anvils with string, but I think that if you're doing this in survival, that's a bit expensive. So here's the one that I think works the best. So I'm going to show you how to build this. It's 2 spruce, 2 slabs down here, 2 stairs, 2 slabs, and stairs facing each other. And you put deep slate. It has the big blocky version of the black concrete, but it also has the light color of the anvil, and it's a lot less expensive to make. So I'm going to be using these for my battleship here. So the first thing we're going to do is go down here and just kind of space out where your cannons are going to be, and I'll be back with the way how my cannons are going to look. Alright guys, so I am done with the cannons. I use this design here, which I had told you already. Now, I'm not putting a second layer because the battleship also needs other things just besides the cannons. And now that I look at it, I think it's a little more realistic. So to give the cannons an opening, I use these stairs and quartz slabs. Sure, there might be a little bit of color variation or a difference, but hey, it still looks good regardless. And now I'm gonna have to figure out a place on where to put the stairs so that we can go up and down. And I also had walled off this area in case if it's like obviously it's a captain's quarters, but I hadn't intended to put no cannons down here. So I was also intending for this to be like a sleeping area in general for everyone. But now all I gotta do, or all we have to do I should say, is to put light and finish up with the captain's quarters. So I'm gonna do that now, and you can see how I do it, and then try to see if you can do it on your own. Alright, so here's what I did. I didn't add light, however, I did make stairs. They're not the prettiest, but they do the job. So we go all the way down to the very bottom where you can see the blue. Then we go back up, and you notice that I have these kind of logs standing here, but they actually have a purpose, and it's to show that the kind of like a pole goes all the way down through the ship. And then near the back, I experiment. With the back of the ship, you gotta experiment, and this is what I did for the back of my ship. And now we gotta add light. So lighting, that's really just up to you. And I think this is the end of the ship guide. So this is how the ship looks in the end. Um, Hopefully you built somewhat of a ship, kind of similar to this. And I'll see you guys next time.